So a couple of days ago, we got a really cool package, a couple of packages actually, from our friends at Clarion Audio. This stuff is all going to be going in the Project Armadillo Audi S6 Safari sedan, Overland Adventure sedan. And we decided that because we're going to be doing a lot of miles in the car to bring it to Radwoods all across the country, that it would be a good idea to have some good audio in the car. So we can jam out to some tunes as we cross this great nation. It's a really big country if you've never driven all the way across it. And we're going to be going through a lot of tunes. So we called up Clarion and we talked to them about what would make for a good audio system in that car. Basically, they just suggested a better deck, better speakers in all of the speaker holes, and a subwoofer and a couple of amplifiers. So that's exactly what we got. So we're going to open this box first because this is where the fun stuff is. First things first, we have the new receiver, your head unit. This is the M508. This is actually a marine receiver that they recommend for vintage cars. So it's got a pretty simple face here. The design is nice and it's got very vintage looking display. It's got a big knob, which is nice, all that stuff. So, but even though it looks kind of vintage on the face of it, it's got Bluetooth connectivity and Sirius XM capability and all of that stuff. So you can put auxiliary and USB in it. So we're going to open this up. Warranty and quick start guide. And here we go. So you've got there the M508. It's got a little door here for the auxiliary and the USB, and pretty good display. I think it'll look nice in the Audi. I look forward to getting it put in there. So got all the connections here. These are all technically waterproof to this point, I believe. Whether or not you keep them waterproof, I guess, is up to you. So that's interesting. Yeah. So that's fun. And it comes with the spare jumper cable to the factory harness in the car. And we've got hardware and brackets and some nuts and bolts. So that's what's in that box. Next we've got the amps. There's two of them, and they are different. So effectively, the Audi has 6 speakers, and it's going to have a subwoofer. So it's got 2 speakers in the front doors. The tweeters are going to stay the same. 2 speakers in the rear doors. Those tweeters are also going to stay. It's got 2 component speakers in the rear deck behind the rear seat passengers. And then we're going to put the subwoofer in the trunk. It'll probably fit where the old 6-disc changer was. So we'll get a custom box built up for that and get that in there. So effectively we have a 4-channel amp here that is going to run the front speakers and the rear speakers. And then we have a 5-channel amp here that is going to run the deck speakers and the subwoofer. So that should be good. So let's check these out. So there you go. That's the XC2410. And yeah, there's not much to this. It's just the amp and the supplied cables. So that's nice. And as you can see, this one is a 400 watt maximum output, 75 watt, and 50 watt. And it's pretty compact. It's only 7 3/16 inches wide. That's the longest on the longest axis by 3 1/4. So, and it's got mounting points on all 4 corners, so it should be pretty easy to mount in the car once we figure out where to put that. The 5-channel amp is 700 watt max power, 75 and 50, and then this one has adjustable electronic high pass and low pass crossover, so you can wire it to multiple points. And again, this one looks pretty similar. It's the XC2510, the 5-channel component of the 2410, and it's got nice thick cables, it's got nice plugs, everything's all pre-wired, so that's really nice. We'll get that figured out as well. Alright, now we're going to move on to the speakers. This is fun as well. So we have 3 distinct sets of speakers here. Pull these all out. So we've got 2 pairs of the same 6.5-inch coaxial 2-way. These are component speakers. That means they include the tweeter in the center. This is going to be for each of the doors. So all 4 doors are going to get the same 6.5. I believe the current speaker is a 5 1/4. So it's actually a little bit smaller than that. It's a bespoke Audi unit. Currently, the Audi has Bose. It's factory Bose from 1995, so it's actually not that bad, but it doesn't have the modern conveniences of Bluetooth and things like that. So that is one of the reasons that we wanted to go with a new system. And then also just things get old. The rubber breaks down, the magnets demagnetize over time, and Clarion has a nice system here. So we've worked with them in the past. They were at Radwood in LA back last December. As you'd probably seen, they have a couple of really rad projects that they're working on. I think they're working on a BMW 850, and they've constantly got new projects in the works. So check out their Clarion Builds series on their website. So yeah, let's just look at these individual components here. So we actually have a really nice cone, and it's got a nice rebound there. So these are factory fresh off the Clarion build floor, and pretty big magnet there. So that's nice. I'm honestly not an audiophile, but I suspect that these will sound quite good. So yeah, looking forward to getting these installed. So those are the door speakers. Now we're going to check out the rear deck speakers. This is a even bigger component speaker. This is your 6x9 for the rear deck. This is a big honking speaker here with a giant magnet and an even bigger cone. So these will be putting out quite a good signal, I think. And yeah, look at that component. It's a lot bigger than the ones that are in the doors. Obviously, in the rear deck, you've got a little more room to fit something like this. This will require a custom fitment because the stock size is the 6.5 that is now going in the door. So this is the largest speaker that's in the car right now. This will be the largest speaker in the car when we're finished. I like the look of this. I mean, you probably won't see it being that it's on the rear deck, but it's got a nice cone. This is like a rubberized finish around the what they call a MIP, M-I-P-P cone. It's like a metallicized plastic almost. But yeah, should be good. I expect this to perform well above what's in the car right now, and probably better than most anything made in 1995, if I'm honest. Yeah, modern components is always a good idea, so we're going to rock some modern components. And the final piece of the puzzle, the one that I'm most excited about. Oh boy, I'm going to have to stand up for this. Oh. Let's not do that. Alright. So, here we have the Clarion. Again, this is marine. Because we're doing an off-road component to the Audi, they wanted something that was kind of sealed. It could fight dust and water and things like that, just in case. This thing is huge, and I have always wanted a quote-unquote system because I grew up in that era. The 90s and early 2000s was when I became a car enthusiast, and people in my high school parking lot that were cool had bangin systems. They could make their trunk shake. So I've always wanted that ability, and I think with this giant 12-inch subwoofer, we will have that ability. So I'm going to pull this out and show you just how big this thing is. Obviously, this is your template. So that shows your 10 and 4/5 inch across for the mounting holes and all that. So here's your cover. I don't know if I'm going to use this, honestly, but there's some wiring bits here. These are waterproof. They've got the rubber ridges on them. Here's some mounting screws, and here is, oh man, yeah, this thing is cool. Oh, interesting. So here's another cover. You can choose either black or silver. And I think I like the black one better, if I'm honest. It's got these carbon supports for the centerpiece here. This is real hardcore rubber and a very hardcore cone. Obviously, this is what makes all of the noise, the bass. From the back here. Oh god, this thing's so heavy. So this is probably a good, I don't know, I want to say it's at least 15 pounds. This is an impressive piece here. Let's see, what is it? The CM3013WL. Music peak power 1000 watts. So yeah, this thing should bang pretty good, I think. Don't you?